Hi there, I'm Sarah and welcome back to my channel. Today is all about Blue Springs State Park in Florida. Now, I grew up not too far from Blue Springs, so I've been numerous times throughout my life. And today, this full guide is going to share with you what it's like to visit in the winter versus the summer and kind of what you can expect, whether you'll see manatees in the summer, and also the best time to see the manatees during the winter. So let's get right into it. Winter at Blue Springs State Park, also known as manatee season. During winter, Blue Springs State Park is all about the manatees. Hundreds can gather in the spring run when the water is warmer than the surrounding rivers and lakes. Swimming, paddling, or any water activities in the spring run are not allowed in this season, but the boardwalk and observation platforms make it easy to watch and photograph these gentle giants. The best time to see manatees is on a cold morning. As the day warms, they head back into the rivers and lakes. However, many manatees will linger in the spring run as the day warms up, as showcased by my recent visit. On that day, there were 450 in the spring run in the morning, but still plenty remained even as the temperatures increased. If you plan to visit on a cold weekend day, consider arriving before the 8 a.m. opening, as the park will close once it reaches capacity. Otherwise, you'll have to wait outside until space opens up. Weekdays are usually much easier for access, and that is when I recommend visiting. For a closer look at wildlife in the winter months, there's also a scenic boat tour on the St. Johns River. I'll link a full video showing that experience for anyone interested. Summer, or more accurately the hotter months, at Blue Springs State Park is ideal for swimming, snorkeling, tubing, kayaking, and even scuba diving. The water stays 72 degrees year-round, which can be refreshing on hot days, though I personally find it very cold. Paddleboarding or kayaking in the spring run is allowed before 10 a.m. or after 5 p.m. During the middle of the day, you can only paddle on the St. Johns River. Kayak and canoe rentals are available at the park, or you can bring your own. I recently took my paddleboard and even saw manatees after 5 p.m., just before the water activities were closed for the season. Always follow park rules and keep a safe distance from the manatees. For swimming, use only the official entry and exit points. Snorkel gear is not available for rent at the park, but you can bring your own, purchase it from a company inside the park, or book a guided tour. Floats are allowed but must meet the park's size requirement of 72 inches wide and long. I recommend bringing water shoes, reef-safe sunscreen, and a towel. Lockers are available at a couple of areas along the boardwalk and near the souvenir shop. Blue Springs State Park also offers walking trails, camping, and cabins. The Pine Island Trail is 3.6 miles one way to the St. Johns River. Summer visitors should consider insect repellent, though I personally recommend avoiding hiking at peak mosquito season. Winter walking tends to be much more pleasant, but always watch out for wild boar and snakes regardless of the season. Manatees can be seen during the summer, but it is far more rare. However, I think a few tend to stick around, so you never know. I saw some when I got scuba certified and when I went paddleboarding for sunset. Overall, manatees can be seen in any type of water during the summer and don't congregate in the springs. Here are some tips for visiting Blue Springs State Park. I do recommend getting there early, especially on summer break weekends or cold weekends, as the park can reach capacity quickly. Weekdays are recommended because they are less crowded. Once the park reaches capacity, they will close it and you will have to wait until people leave. There are bathrooms and they are kept in decent condition, but they are not the nicest. There is a cantina on site, but I recommend bringing your own picnic lunch if you are making a day of it. There is a Publix grocery store only 10 minutes away in DeLand, so grab a pub sub, some snacks and fruit, and enjoy the lunch while you're in the park. Be sure to keep your distance from manatees and other wildlife, no feeding or touching. Here are some gear and essentials to consider. Hats, sunglasses, and reef-safe sunscreen are all recommended as sun protection, even though there is a lot of shade offered. Also consider a change of clothes, a waterproof phone case if you want to keep it close, waterproof camera or case for underwater photos, snorkel gear, and floats. Also, water shoes will come in handy if you decide to float down the spring run and need to walk back to your stuff. If you want to swim during the months Blue Springs is closed for water activities, consider De Leon Springs or Wekiva Springs. They are 30 and 45 minutes from Blue Springs State Park and offer swimming year-round. As far as the best times, that depends on when you're going. Cold mornings are the best time to see manatees in the winter, and for Florida, that's about temperatures in the 30s or 40s Fahrenheit. For paddling, head there before 10 a.m. or after 5 p.m. in the summer if you want to paddle the clear spring run. For swimming, just consider if it's a busy time or not to know when to get there. Summer holidays are busy on the weekends, so try and go during the week. Whether you visit in winter for manatees or in summer for swimming and paddling, Blue Springs State Park is a stunning day trip from Orlando or Daytona Beach. Plan around early mornings to beat the crowds, or even better, visit during the week if possible. Thank you so much for watching. If you want the full guide on Blue Springs State Park, I've linked it in the description below. Until next time, bye!